Hello, beautiful divine one. Hello, hello. So we have a video that I did prior to this one. You can find it if you choose to. It is titled How to Activate Your Gifts, something like that. And one of the questions in the comments of that video was, could I explain more what I mean by seeing yourself as consciousness? So what is consciousness? How would one see themselves that way? At least that's how I understood the comment and the question. I believe it was from beautiful Veronica. So thank you for sending that in. And how I would explain this to you is your imagination is a powerful tool. It is not pretend. It is not playtime, although it is fun. And in essence, it all is a game. But your imagination is a tool you can use, and you do use. You just maybe don't, not everyone is not aware they are using their imagination to create their lives. But when you sit and you worry and you play out every scenario possible of a negative outcome, you are using your imagination, aren't you? You're imagining the worst case scenario unfolding. And even when we recall spaces we've experienced, many times we add on additional spaces of the vision or the remembrance or the memory, and that again is your imagination. So you are using your imagination to create in every aspect of you. And when you want to become a self-master of your being, and you want to see yourself as your wholeness, which is that which is before your form state. So your form state is your human form right now. This is your current form state. Your current form state is the human you are right now. Now, you have been other forms prior, most likely all of you have, and you will be other forms after this form. So when you are not in form, that is the original space of your being in just its consciousness. So just your light, just your space of your being in wave, in energy. And then you have the ability to take on form, to gain experiences for your light, your consciousness, your being, to expand itself, to understand itself even more. So if you can use your imagination with me here, and just allow yourself to imagine, picture, visualize, draw with your mind. And you might even want to do it on paper. That would be powerful. I've done that before. Draw what you think you look like when you're not in form. When you're not in this human body, what do you think you look like? Maybe for some that's a circle, like a sphere of light, like you see in my videos where the beautiful light beings, higher dimensional beings are coming throughout the room, yes? Maybe that's how you see yourself when you're not in a human format. Maybe you see yourself as a wave of light, you know? Just like drawing on a paper, kind of those wavy lines, and you're just these waves of light. You take on different forms according to the space you are existing in, being in. Now, I have seen many different types of beings in many different types of forms. And I still know that there are limitless number of forms I have never seen. So whatever you draw is one space of potentiality, of possibility for you. And there's no wrong thing that you could draw. There's no wrong way of seeing yourself. Now, here's the PowerPoint, if you will, on what consciousness is. It's information. Light waves, information, understandings, knowings in the format of light. That can also move in the format of frequency, of vibration, through sound. Your consciousness, moves through many ways of conveyance. It moves through word, it moves through action, it moves through sound, like for toning or singing. Consciousness is so incredibly big and powerful, and it is interwoven in every living thing. Every living thing, consciousness is there. The earth is alive, consciousness is there. Everything that grows out of the earth, consciousness is within. All of the inhabitants of the earth, living organic life, consciousness is within. And consciousness outside of any of those forms of living creatures, beings, humans, plant life, earth, other planets, whatever, consciousness outside of any form is information in light formation. And then that information in light formation can go within a format in order to experience itself in a new way. So it might experience itself as a human child. It might experience itself as a human girl, a human boy, a woman, a man. And it might come back and experience itself again as another space of that which it hasn't experienced yet. And as the consciousness experiences itself in these different formats, it expands its understanding of itself and of life and of interactivity with other consciousness spaces, even though it is a unity space that has divided itself into different points. But as those experiences unfold, consciousness expands. And it is eternal. So this expansion is eternal. There's nothing to fear about anything ending. There's nothing to fear about anything ending. There is this peace, this deep peace that passes all understanding in the knowing of eternal life of continued understanding of being. And you do move into different spaces of what you be. I know that seems like a funny sentence the way I said it, yes? But what you live as, what you are being, whether that is wherever that is on the space of your journey of consciousness, of life, you experience all these different spaces that you line up for you according to what you need to understand yourself. And you also assist others in understanding themselves as well. There's always many sides being unfolded in these connectivities we have with others in our lives. But in essence, we are always connecting with ourselves, because all come from the origin point of consciousness itself. This is a really big topic, and I'm writing a book on this, and the material coming through is so incredibly big but so exciting. So I'm very, very grateful and excited to be coming closer to a space where I'll be able to share this with everyone. But it'll be a few more months, as I'm about in the middle of the book, of writing it. but it's all coming out quite beautifully. So I look forward to sharing that with you. But if you want to imagine yourself outside of your form, I see myself as a being of light. So when I'm outside of form, I am just light. I do have a shape to my light, but it changes according to if I am in motion, if I'm traveling from dimension to dimension, if I am in one space, if I'm working with other light beings, if I'm working with collectives. There's a whole world, if you will, quantum world that is existing in the same exact space and time as your physical world that you see right here, feel right here. This is one space of you, and at the same exact time, your higher light, your wholeness, if you will, is existing in your quantum field. And that's what comes in and assists you and assists me in our format spaces when we are connecting in for guidance, for protection, for understanding, for what we call miracles, manifesting miracles, performing healings. That is the quantum, that is the divinity, that is the higher dimensional space of connectivity filtering through this vessel format, as this vessel format is aware and connecting in to that higher space of connectivity. That's what I do. And that's what I teach people to do. And I activate and attune them to remember these spaces of themselves, because it's all energy. Your consciousness is energy. You are energy. So you can take that into consideration as well when you think of you as consciousness and you imagine yourself as consciousness. See it yourself as energy. An energetic flow of light, of information, of everything you've ever learned, of everything you've ever experienced, of everything you've ever been. And in essence, because it's quantum, you're quantum, everything you'll ever be. It's a really big thought process, concept space, but just allow, don't judge it, don't get stuck on spaces that seem too big or spaces that you don't have an answer for. That's part of you allowing you and experiencing you where you are right now. And that's the dance, and that's the expansion of you, your consciousness, by just allowing those moments, by just being those moments that come in and you say, I get it, I understand. And the moments that come in and you go, whoa, that's really big. If that's this, then what's that? Just allow, let them be. Let your body, let your being, let your understanding all unfold and expand as it is ready to. Keep thinking of the spaces that you are drawn to the most. You're leading you. See your consciousness as this incredibly beautiful, vibrant space of light, of information, of understanding, in a flow, formless state that is then coming in through this format that you have in this now. So you're not separate from that space of your consciousness. That's what's embodying, that's what's in this form. My light, my wisdom, my information of me, all the way back into the origination point of my creation, is within me. Source within me. And I am remembering more and more and more and more and more as I open up my being to this space. Thinking about that, just that concept, that understanding of being light, of being information, of being formless, and being able to come into and hold form. Just thinking of that expands the consciousness, the inner knowing, which shifts the vibration of the space in which you are in format, human form. You shift the vibration of this space of you to a higher incremental flow spin. And when you do that, now the gifts that are in alignment with that space of energetic connection, because the gifts themselves, your gifts, your abilities, all are energy. And for them to activate, they have to be within an alignment that can support them. So thinking about your being on all levels of its existence allows the understanding of your now to open up more, to facilitate the energetic alignment for the gifts to come online and to be anchored, to have a space of connectivity energetically. All right, beautiful divine ones, I have loved sharing this time with you. I hope this brought some clarity to the space. I will speak on this more. Thank you unendingly. Thank you to all my patrons over on my Patreon channel. If you're not already on my Patreon channel, look below this video and the description. There are live links there. Find your way to my Patreon platform. It is a fantastic way to expand your consciousness, to expand your understanding of you, and to activate you, all of your beautiful sovereign power in this now. There are 4 different levels you can come in at on my Patreon platform, so there's something for everyone. And it's basically weekly, usually. Every weekend I have a class. This is actually this coming weekend, for those who are watching this right away upon release. This coming weekend is the first weekend in over 2 years that I've taken a Saturday off, so so this will be the first one that there will not be one every single weekend. But go and check out the Patreon platform, and if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please let me know. If you're already one of my patrons, all right, I'm speaking to you guys right now. If you're already one of my patrons, can you comment below for me, even one sentence of what you think about my Patreon platform and how you either like it. If you're there, you must love it, right? To give a little understanding to people who maybe aren't a Patreon already. And check out the comments below, and let's see if that can give some testimony, some feedback of what it is that people would gain from being on my Patreon platform. So if you're already a patron, please, if you wouldn't mind, leave a comment below, share some love. I would really appreciate it. I love you all so unendingly, so very, very much. And there's been just incredible expansion going on. So many people, so many beautiful humans waking up to remember who they are and live their best life now. Their best life now. Honored to walk with you. Unending blessings upon you, divine and holy one. Unending.